Hi travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and I'm coming to you with one of my spontaneous readings. This is going to be for the new moon in Scorpio coming up um, November 11th and 12th, depending on where you live. Um, there's a couple of things I'd like to talk about. The first thing is that I have just set up a website. I'm going to put the links in the about box below this video. In the about box and below this video. So if you like, you can go over and take a look. For those of you who have had readings from me, if you'd like to go over and, post up a comment or a little testimonial about a reading that you've had from me, that would be fantastic. I just got it set up a couple of days ago, all working and running. It still may have a few things that I've got to work out. But there's also a way for you to book a reading there. It's called the tarot readings, the tarot reading bookings. So you can go down and select, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, a 90-minute reading with a one-click link button, pay button. If somebody's going to do that, if you want a book and you click the link and it doesn't work, I would really appreciate it if you email me and let me know to make sure that I got the code pasted in right. And you could, leave testimonials and leave comments. Another thing that I wanted to speak to you about is I had spoken to you during the individual readings, letting you know that, I'm scheduled for surgery. Well, the surgery's been postponed, and I have no idea when I'm going to hear back. I've been waiting for the past 2 or 3 days to hear back from the doctor. I haven't heard anything back yet. So that's kind of putting me in a kind of a funky position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and starting tomorrow, November 6th, I'm going to go ahead and offer new moon readings, a special on new moon readings. It's going to be $20 off each reading. So if it's $85 reading, it's going to cost you $65. Again, you can, I'm going to put the links up and I'll add some more information in here with whatever. Now, I will tell you that we got the new moon coming up, and oh yeah, we're going to try a new spread today. Something new. Not sure exactly how it's going to go. I've been practicing on the reading, how it's the layout. But we're just going to see what we can get. I forgot what else I was going to tell you. Oh yeah, I was going to say that the new moon brings endings and beginnings, and I just had an ending, something in a relationship. I don't even know if I can say it's a relationship, but it was something that did not go the way that I had hoped it would. And so it has left me with many questions about, I think one of my pet peeves is communication, and people who don't communicate. For whatever reason. And granted, we're all given days. We all have our days where we can't be quite clear in what it is we'd like to say or convey to another person. But I think if you value and you respect an individual, then you should try to at least make an effort. I know sometimes it's harder, easier said than done, but I think that's very important because, miscommunications, there can be hurt feelings, there can be slights, there can be, and things don't have to end up going south if they do go south. Even if you have to cut it loose, which is what I did. I made the decision to walk away. It doesn't have to be something where there's a bunch of anger and hurt feelings left on both sides. That's where I'm trying to get at. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at and see, because a lot of you have been contacting me saying that, the readings have been resonating with you for the month of November. So we're going to see perhaps what the new moon can bring us. If it's an ending, if some of you are thinking about ending things, whatever that may be in your life, and being ready to step into something new, then let's just see what could possibly be coming up, because really 2016 is here. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to go into 2016 with a few new lessons learned under my, tucked under my belt and try to move into 2016 by not repeating some of the same mistakes that I've been repeating, put it that way. So let me rifle the cards. Hopefully we're going to be able to pull some information out. I've got my little guide thing to help me remember the positions for the reading. This was a reading that somebody developed for me. It's called the Hidden Lotus Spread. And as I said, I've been working with it. This is the first time. I've done it once or twice. I've practiced on some of my friends. Seems to be great. I was having some trouble reading it because of the positioning of the cards, but now it seems to be okay. But I do have a little cheat sheet just in case I need it. And so here we go. We're going to see what we can come up with. Actually, I did that wrong. Hold on. It goes like this. Ha ha! That was the third card down. Yes. That goes there. This goes here. And that goes there. See? Now I told you. Okay. There we go. So, what we have here is... this is us in the center. This is the situation, or as you see yourself, or as you see the situation presently. And basically what we're looking at, in one respect, this can be just about mundane matters. It could be about financial issues, making money. It could also be you having offered a gift or offered something to someone, or someone offering you something. Of course, you know, it's a Page of Pentacles here. What we have in these two positions, this is the fixed North Node and South Node. And what is above us right now is the Hangman. I know a lot of you have been contacting me through email saying, you know, I'm in a situation and I don't quite know what to do. I'm feeling stuck. The Hangman is in a sorts about being stuck, but it's being stuck in a way in which you can't quite figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Because really, if you want to if you're stuck, you just, you know, you make the choice to move. This card is about Neptune, and we do have some Neptune transit going through. And Neptune is the dreamer of the zodiac. Neptune comes in and says, oh, I love everybody, peace and love, have a cookie, kumbaya, you know, and it has a tendency to create illusions. And sometimes you can be wrapped up, so wrapped up in the illusion or the dream of the potential of something that you're really unable to see clearly and or make a move should you need or desire to make one. Now, the basis of this at the bottom is the Ace of Swords. And this is an air card. And it is all about mental clarity, which I think is very interesting that we have this juxtaposed against the Hangman, because right now there's not a lot of mental clarity. We're not quite sure. There's fantasies, there's illusions, there's deception, there are hidden things. And so the foundation comes in to tell us, you know, that we really want to seek the truth. And for some of us, this truth is going to be extremely uncomfortable. Indeed, it could be painful. But the beauty of when the truth comes in is that once the veil is lifted, that you can actually see things for what they really are. Here we have in the moon position, which deals with our home life and emotions, we have this Empress. Now, we know that Venus, I think, has been wreaking havoc with everybody. And Venus not only deals with love, but it deals with money, how you handle money, those things that you value or that you place a value on or that you feel are valuable to you. And right now, with Neptune sitting so close to Neptune, there is some type of illusion. There is something hidden that some of us can't quite see. And we're trying desperately to gain some kind of clarity. And this is truly going to be around either a financial issue. As I said with Venus, Venus can come in and have you spending more money, you know, emotional spending, or trying to keep up with the Joneses. Somebody buys this, you want to get the same thing, but you want to get it bigger and better. But it also has to do with looking at ways that you can bring more nurturing, abundance, and creativity into your home life, surrounding your friends, your family, yourself. Venus can come in and wreak havoc, and this has been going on, has been playing out. This Venus theme has been playing out all through the year of 2014 through the eclipses, and we know that we just had the last supermoon eclipse in September, so the effects of an eclipse can last really six months to 3 years out. There is some type of decision that needs to come about. As for me, I have already made my decision, the Judgment card. But the fact remains is that I don't know really what's going to come of the decision that I made in terms of moving forward. Yes. So this is not the card of justice where we're dealing with karma. This is actually something where you were able, or you should be able, to make a decision and change an outcome. Okay. And that's really, if the outcome is no longer serving you, then yes, it needs to go. Some of you are feeling, this is the Mercury position, and this deals with intellect and thought. And indeed, if you have a decision to make and you don't have the clarity, you do need to be able to come away or figure out a way that you can remove your emotions from it and come back and think rational and think logically. This is the card of feeling isolated or feeling shut out. In some respects, it's being so confused that you don't even see that there's an answer right in front of you. Okay. And I was like this. So if any of you are going through this, don't beat yourself up. These things happen, but I think they happen to, everything happens for a reason, and it's coming in to teach a lesson. What we have here is the Jupiter card. Now, I've been talking to you that Jupiter's been in Virgo. Jupiter's going to stay in Virgo until 2016. So some of you may not be seeing the effects of any gains or expansions or luck happening for you, but it doesn't mean that you still aren't able to process the information that you should and be able to come to a decision. Because really, if you look at these cards, this is really about thoughts, you know. And when you see the Six of Swords coming in, I would take it from the cards of Judgment, the Hangman, the Five of Coins, and the Five of Cups, that whatever this thing is, it's making you feel disappointed, perhaps. It's making you feel regretful. It's bringing in depression and sadness and repetition of negative thoughts. Yes? Because you can't seem to get over the fact that this just didn't go the way that you thought it was, or that you didn't get the job or the money or the inheritance or whatever this gift is that you thought you should, or that you felt should have been fair. Perhaps someone else made a decision for you because you weren't able to, or someone just decided to, you know, up and do something out of the clear blue, and you were kind of blindsided by it. This card says that it's going to take some time to heal from this. If you haven't gathered the strength yet, or the clarity has not come to you to make your decision moving forward in order to make changes in your life for the better. Because really, I don't know about you, I want to go into 2016 like the Fool energy, with a clean slate. And I want to go in not dragging anything with me from 2015, except the lessons that I learned. I don't want to drag anything negative, riding in on my coattails, hanging around my neck like, you know, a yoke. I don't want to take any of that stuff with me. I want to clear it, pass it, and begin to move on. Not to forget it, but not to dwell on it either, but to try to remain mindful if I'm faced with another situation in the same way, of the way in which I reacted, I behaved, what I allowed someone to come in and do, what I gave up, what type of power I gave up, how I gave it up, how much I gave it up, how fast I gave it up. So these are questions that has nothing to do with the other person in which you find yourself in conflict with. It has most definitely to do with yourself. And this is going to require, and I know you're like, man, Tara, you've been telling us to go within and to look, and I'm trying and I can't figure out, you get it when you get it. But at some point, you have to make a conscious effort to say, okay, I have to step away from this. And, sometimes you have to step away to gain clarity. You just have to step away. And if you can do that and not allow fear to hinder you, to make you freeze. And if you are able to separate fact from fiction, illusion from reality, delusion from clarity, then you're going to be able to do it. And like I said, I know it's not easier said than done, but why should you not be able to have a better experience? Why do you not deserve the type of relationship that you want, or the kind of job that you want? And it's not the kind of job, it could be the kind of job where you want to make lots of money, or it could just be the kind of job that satisfies you on a soul level. So why can you not have those things? Those things aren't going to just drop out of the sky on you. You do have to actively work and seek. You're going to make mistakes. That's just the way it goes. So you try to take those mistakes and learn from them and continue to move forward, because really the past is the past for a reason. The present, I read something, I'm sure some of you have heard it. It's a saying, the past is the past. I don't know how it goes, but I say the past is the past for a reason. The future is promised to no one. That's why the present is a gift. Okay? Gift and present, put the two words together. So it's trying to stay in the present moment. That means sometimes sitting with the uncertainty, sitting with the pain, sitting with the fear. But eventually you're going to have to move forward to create a new present for yourself. And that new present then becomes a way to your future. So this card assures that if you've been feeling stuck, if you have been dealing with painful emotions, if you're wanting to move ahead, that indeed, you can do that, and that the universe is here to help you to do that. Knowing that you're going by boat, it's going to be slow, but it's going to be okay. Now, interestingly, what we have in the Venus position is this Five of Cups. Now, we know that Venus is with love and this, that, and the other. So this does indeed speak to me that the energies of this spread revolve around a relationship. For me, it was a relationship, or something that I thought, well, we're always in relationship to people anytime that we encounter them. So yes, it was a relationship. Yes, it had potential, but then because it ended, and the way that it ended, and the things, the issues that came up, I had to recognize that that's not for my highest good. That it's not for my highest good, and that's a sad thing. I don't have really any regrets. I don't feel that it was a waste of my time. It just didn't go the way. Disappointment. That's all. And so if some of you are feeling disappointed with circumstances, with people, with relationships, with financial outcomes, honor those feelings, but don't wallow in them. And don't continue to focus on them, because as I always say about this card, here's a guy, he's crying, or he's looking, or he's sad, he's regretful, he's mournful. This is true, but you can turn it around because you've got those two cups here. So I think it's beautiful that this Two of Cups in disguise, that's going to take time. Now, what we have coming up in the Mars position, this is your opposition. Mars is all about your drive, your determination, your ambition, and this is the Emperor. And, pretty much, I think the Emperor's higher on a scale than a king. Don't ask me why I think that, but the Emperor, the energy of the Emperor is the energy of rationality with compassion. Okay. That's not to say that the emperor can't come and put the hammer down on you. Okay. But the emperor is somebody who may come in and he comes in and he listens quite fairly, evenly balanced. He takes his time in making his decisions. He'll think about it. He'll consider all of the different aspects of it. And then he tries to come to, fair and balanced conclusions so that both sides walking away, if he's mediating something, both sides can walk away without feeling that they lost face or lost their dignity or their pride, or they gave up too much of one thing. Everybody has to come away feeling, even if it doesn't go the way that you want, everybody should walk away feeling, well, okay, I can accept that. And this is a male energy, but the truth of the matter is that we all embody the yin and the yang. So if you're a female, you're going through something, you're going to have to try to tap into the male energy side of yourself and figure out a fair and balanced resolution to whatever's bothering you. If you are a male reading this, again, don't let your testosterone or your egos, and this really is a card about egos. This whole spread is about egos, not allowing your buttons to be pushed and trying to remain balanced and calm. So, I could say for women, don't let your estrogen and your PMS get you all out of whack. If that's happening to you, then before you make a move, step back a moment, contemplate before you say or do something. And that's the best advice of this card that I can give you. Now, what I'd like to do is I want to take a look. I'm just going to use the Sabilas, and we're going to take a look at 3 cards here. I want to take a look at the Hanged Man, the Judgment, and the Ace of Swords, because to me, these are the 3 cards that stand out the most in this reading. For some of you, this could be about a home move with the Empress and the 6 of Swords. Interestingly enough, we do have the Empress and the Emperor, so this could also be a couple situation. With the Page of Pentacles in the center, it could be an issue revolving around the loss of perhaps love feelings. Maybe one or both of you are feeling as though something is lacking in the relationship. It could be financial issues. It could also be something where someone has walked away. Perhaps there might be a separation or divorce coming in, and you are waiting to hear news from this. It could involve children, a custody battle, so to speak. It could involve alimony payments, child support payments. It could involve, and you're waiting for the word. And I want to say this reading kind of has the flavor of justice. We won't know what's going to be underneath here, but to me, it kind of has the flavor of justice to it, the way the cards came out and the messages that are coming through with it. In which case, if this card is representative of justice, then that means the karma. This means that whatever went down or whatever is about to go down, it may not be what you want it to be, but rest assured it's going to be fair. And you're going to have to figure out a way to live with it, okay? Whatever was said, however it went down, you're going to have to be responsible for taking on your own feelings and not projecting what someone else did or said. Don't project the way you feel or how they spoke to you or what they said to you or what they did to you. Don't project it back at them. It's going to call for being the bigger person. Yeah, I know that's easier said than done. All right, let's take a look at this Hanged Man first. Actually, no, I want to look at the Hanged Man first to see. We know that the Hanged Man comes in to tell us to view things from a different perspective, but this could also just be a time of waiting. And sometimes waiting is the hardest thing. We want to rush. This is also brought about through the Mars energy. Mars is fire, passion. This is the Aries card. That's fire and passion. So, well, we're going to put that to the side and see how that fits in later. That's the Yarjro, the thief. And we can look at that. I'm going to read this as change. I'm going to go ahead and accept that card. Amore. Ha. And the Delirante. Now, the delirious people. I'm going to look at this in two ways. A change has come about through love or the potential of love, romance, relationships, and it came through, perhaps it made you feel delirious. Oh wow, this is it. This is great. Coming out on the Neptune card, that lets us know with this shadowy figure that something wasn't, we weren't able to see something, okay? Not necessarily that this is a real negative, because it could be something that we didn't see about ourselves and not just necessarily about the other person. To me, this speaks of falling on the hangman and knowing that this is a pause and wait moment. Perhaps it came through too quickly and that we were not able to, we didn't stop and give it any thought. It felt good, so we went with it. Remember, kumbaya, have a cookie, come over and sit down, let's have a cup of tea, that kind of thing. And perhaps it all came about so quickly that we didn't stop and consider many things, or we had things in place and then we just kind of let it slide, okay? So in that situation, the hangman is back to tell us again that if this did not go the way that you thought it should go, in whatever aspect that this is, some people have love with their job, love of money, maybe things are moving fast in the financial or business sense, and some things have not come through as you had hoped or wished. Perhaps you were moving so fast you didn't see all of the angles that you needed to see. And so this is asking us to go back to the drawing board and to review those things. I hope this reading is making sense to you. I know it's a different spread. Now, I said I wanted to look at this. What I want to do is look at the truth, quote unquote, of this. Okay. For some of you, this does indeed revolve around a relationship. This is the widower. This has to do with the man who's alone, or someone who has, let's say, for lack of a better term, given up on love. And at present, this is what he wants to be. He wants to be the Gran Signore. This is like the King of Hearts in the deck. And he is seeking a Donna Maritata, a woman with nurturing qualities. This comes back to the Empress, okay? And with this Ace of Swords, this is a truth that is coming in. Someone is beginning to have a realization of what it is that they really choose to have. But also, if this is a situation where there's a divorce or separation and someone has walked away because of finances, because of feeling isolated and left out, we can view this, the widower, we're looking at someone who feels as though things are dead. And in the tarot, this can mean necessarily someone trying to come back and heal from the passing away of a loved one, but we can also look at it as someone who is going to, who may, in terms of going back and looking over whatever it is they need to look over and reviewing, that they need to change the way that they view themselves and the type of person perhaps that, not the type of person, because I don't think anybody who's loving and nurturing, unless it's the smothering, manipulative kind, this is a bad thing, but perhaps maybe they need to embody these qualities themselves. This would speak to me of someone who can be very forgiving, who is very empathetic, who's very kind and very loving and really just wants the best. And maybe this person themselves has these type of qualities, and so far it has not gone well for them because they haven't met anyone who really appreciates those qualities. So it can go either way. But there is a truth surrounding this. And the spread has come out to ask us to, if you recognize yourself in this spread, again, we don't want to project these things onto the other person that we're dealing with. Perhaps maybe you need to come back and, even if you're a female, you need to come back and review the nurture, the way that you extend yourself in relationships. This could be also a business relationship, the way you extend yourself, the way you make yourself available. How much do you give? How much do you, is it too much? Is it not enough? Are you giving away your power? I mean, look at that. That's a card of great force and great power. And you do have the ability to do that. Now, the last card I want to look at is going to be this Judgment card here. Now, this is interesting. We always say that as card readers. Now, we have sospiri, which is longing or waiting. We have the falsita card, and we have the fortune card. And coming in on the Judgment, two ways. This is something that you've been waiting on for a long, long time, or something came into your path. And at the moment when you saw it, it was great at the beginning, and it was something that you've been waiting for a long, long time. But those hidden things that we did not know about ourselves came into play, right? And when you put this falsita or the deceit card or the deception card with the fortuna card, the fortune card, this was not a positive thing, okay? You hoped that it was a positive thing, but it turned out not to be a positive thing. Now, we're not, again, going to take these cards and project them onto the person that we may be in conflict with or the situation that we're having trouble with. This is saying that there are some hidden things about yourself that may have caused this situation not to come about in the best manner. Therefore, the decision has to be made. It is a judgment that is coming in. But by the same token, if you can come away after you do your healing and you're moving away, and you can come back and look at this in a fair and balanced and rational manner. And maybe if, maybe you're going through a situation and you're thinking about walking away, the decision may be, do you try to salvage what's left? Do you try to come back and work on it? If that's the case, then you need to take a good hard look at yourself and not the other person. Because the honest truth of the matter is that you can't change another person's thoughts. You can't change or influence the way that they feel. You can't control their behavior and what their buttons are that are pushed. And what I can say is that this is going to require massive amounts of seeking the truth within yourself and massive amounts of communication. And this is communications with yourself, recognizing some hard truths about yourself. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the card out from underneath so we can see some more about this spread. And we have this King of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, this could involve an earth sign person. It could involve a water sign. I mean, really, this could run the gamut. It could be an air sign. It can be a fire sign. So when I get a reading like this that has, I'm doing this reading, what I get is that this is across the board, across the spectrum, that many people may be going through a situation like this. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic, it could be business, friendship, familial relationships, where you're going to have to question really what your own motivations were. And what is it that you were really seeking? And why is it that things didn't turn out the way that they are? We always want to try to blame the other person with their behavior, but it's really about sometimes the things that push our buttons that we're not even aware of, okay? The other thing I want to say about this is that if we can do this, This king is the slow king, the deliberate king. He is pretty well balanced in all areas of his life. I like to see this king when he comes out. And so the spread is advising that if we can do these things and be successful, and perhaps we need to use the energy of the new moon coming in to work on these areas. And it's not going to be fast. It's not going to be easy. But that, if you can do that and be honest with yourself, that you can come out like this king, just, floating through. That's the way I want to go into 2016. So I'm going to pull a one oracle card to try to summarize this reading and to see what it can hopefully can give us a little relief. I will say in my situation, I'm relieved in one respect. I really feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, because for a long time I was very indecisive about what I was going to do. I knew what needed to be done. I was just dragging my feet. It's painful and it's going to take some time, but I'm okay with my decision. I don't second guess it. Let me put it that way. All right. Ah, look, the rebuild card. Man, these oracle cards, they don't never fail me. Hold on, let me get the book, because y'all know it's a major arcana card. Y'all know I can't never remember. And in this spread, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas. And we, really, all the readings I've been doing, it's been like 6, 7 major arcana. So there's huge planetary influences. There are huge changes coming about, not just on a personal level, but also on a global level. And I think everybody's so shook up. Things are moving so fast. People are so shook up. You're being tossed from one place to the other. It's like those boats in the back of the two of coins. It's just riding the wave, and you can't find any balance. So let's see what now, to look at this card, you would not think that it is what it is, but it should have made sense when I read it. I kept feeling, and I didn't want to say it, that this was a tower situation. Whatever this thing is that has come in, it is a tower situation. Now, in the Rider-Waite deck, let me see if I can find it right quick. The tower is the thing, it's a structure that points straight up to the sky. Here it is. And the lightning comes in and knocks the crown off. The people are falling down. This comes in when there's changes. Sometimes these changes are sudden, unexpected, but sometimes the tower is all about a sudden realization. Remember, I was telling you, this is a card of great power and great force, and that you do have the ability. You may have been clouded right now, but you got the ability to do this. And so you're going to have to be faced with making a decision that's going to perhaps change. It's chaos. It is destruction, but it's destruction not so total that you cannot rebuild from it. And that's why this card has come out. Okay? So it's going to major readjustments, major things happening, major changes, major decisions, and there's always fear with that. So let's see and read what this one says. The keywords for this card are collapse, expose, create, pretense, revelation, and awareness. The dynamics of a relationship can often be complicated. The longer you've been in a relationship, the more complex it can be. Relationships begin to grow many layers consisting of joys, sorrows, honesty, and duplicity. And now let's not say that it was all the other person. We can have been duplicitous in the way that we feel about things, feeling one way but not speaking it. That's being duplicitous. At least it is in my book. As these layers build on top of each other, it becomes increasingly difficult to know what the core of the relationship is based on. What was once love may now appear to be merely tolerance, or worse, Even in good relationships, you may find yourself growing apart from the other person. In either case, the weight of these layers can cause a relationship to collapse. Man, this is a better reading than I thought it was going to be. Now may be a good time to start fresh with one or more of your relationships. Peel off the layers one by one and cut away any pretense and see what may be revealed. Find the core of the relationship and decide if it's still what you want and what you find attractive. If so, then discard the old layers and consciously create a new commitment with this person or persons, one based on truth, honesty, and love. Use the awareness gained by this exercise to steer the relationship on a clear, steady course. The same applies to rebuilding the relationship with yourself. Examine your many layers of joys, sorrows, successes, and failures, and think about how they're affecting your ability to love yourself and therefore to find love. Expose the false voices that tell you that you are unworthy and silence them. That's what I was just saying about duplicitous, feeling one way but not speaking your truth. Okay? When you do, your true value will be revealed. Rebuild your life around unconditional love for yourself and invite in unconditional love for others. The affirmation is, I cut to the core of my relationships and consciously rebuild around them. That is all that I have for you today, travelers. As I said, my new website is at wordpress.com. It is go to wordpress.com and you can type in hiddenlotustarot.com or just type in hiddenlotustarot.com in the box. If this, you want to go take a look at the site, you want to leave some messages, that would be great. I would love that. If you'd like to book a reading with myself, you can go there and book now. So that's it. Any of you who are going to be faced with a decision that's going to be like the Tower, remember to love yourself first. Remember to look at yourself first. Remember to be honest with yourself, because if you can't be honest with yourself, then you can't be honest with anybody else. And don't be emotionally manipulative. Don't say one thing and mean another. Don't, if communications is called for, try to be as direct as possible so that the other person can understand you. You don't have to be nasty about it, the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords can get you told, but she always does it with style and with flair. So I hope that this message helps you. For those of you through which this has already occurred, look at it as a new beginning. For those of you who are trying to perhaps hang on to what you have, if you really feel that it's worth it, you're going to have to work on it. And I wish you the best of luck coming into this new moon season. We're going to have 30 days till the next new moon, hopefully to do some soul searching and some work. It's going to be painful, but I have all the faith in you that you can do it. So until next time, namaste, travelers, and thank you.